Hey everybody, Chris back with you again. So some time ago, my girl Carley over at Last Grown Up in the Woods decided to tag me in a video that was about what are the three most important things in my first aid kit. So coming up next, I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well as my approach to first aid and give you a little background on how I came to the kit that I have now. I should also mention I was previously tagged by Smell and Roses on a similar video, so I'm hoping that this will satisfy both tags. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video to see who I tag next. Let's get started. Okay, so basically my approach to first aid is based on the likelihood of what will happen the most. What is most likely to happen either out hiking or camping or just being outdoors. So I've narrowed it down to about three major things that are most likely to happen when you're out adventuring. The first deals with extreme temperatures. So if you're like me and you like to extend your hiking and camping season as long as you can, then you're going to go out into some more extreme temperatures. You're going to, maybe it's a little colder than you should be out in. So that is the first consideration. The second consideration when formulating my kit is, well, it has to do with what's most likely to happen while I'm hiking. So the most likely thing to happen while I'm hiking, besides getting lost and being chased by bears, the most likely thing to happen is that I'm going to roll an ankle, I'm going to fall, I'll have some sort of trauma to a limb. So that's my second consideration. The third consideration is when you're out camping and you're working around axes or hatchets or your brand new shiny Mora knife and you're processing firewood or tinder, the possibility of you getting cut is pretty high. Unless you're experienced with it, I guess. But, okay, the possibility of me getting cut is pretty high. So that's the third thing. So it's temperature, sprains or strains or some sort of trauma to your limb, and getting cut. So now let me tell you a little bit about my kit and what I have in it, and that'll help you, I guess maybe help you formulate your own kit. Okay, so let's talk about temperature. So you're out hiking or camping and it gets a little colder, the weather changes on you suddenly, and it's very easy to get hypothermia in those conditions, especially if you didn't plan ahead. So what I always try to carry is some sort of emergency blanket or a Mylar blanket, and I know a lot of us carry that, but this particular one is by Survive Outdoors Longer, or SOL, and you can use this as a shelter, you can use this as just a covering until you're able to build a shelter, or you're able to heat back up and then go on your way. So this is a must-have for me. I carry it in my kit all the time, and I never leave home without it. It's like American Express. So that's the first thing. So the second thing, when it comes to what's important in my pack and the considerations I went into it, are sprains or strains. So this is not very much of this, but I always carry an ACE bandage, and this is a 2-inch ACE bandage that you can wrap up your ankle if needed. The other thing that I carry is I always have a bandana with me. You can use a bandana in a multitude of ways. So being able to get mobile again so you can get to help is pretty important. So then the third consideration is bleeding out in the woods. And there's nothing sadder that can be prevented than bleeding out in the woods. The only thing that I can think of that would be more sad than that is when you're alive, a bear has attacked you and he's eating your legs and you have to watch. Because I would not want to be in that situation. So I have a rapid application tourniquet system, or RATS, and my buddy Steve did a video on this some time ago, but I actually knew about it before he did the video. I just never did one on it. I never thought of it, and since he did, I'm like, oh, he's done a video, I'm not going to do it. So, rapid application tourniquet system. It is very fast, is very effective, and it's made of obviously stretchy type material. So there's nothing I can think of, like I said, only one other thing worse than bleeding out in the woods when you don't have to. So always carry a tourniquet of some kind. Once again, you can carry a bandana, and that bandana you can use it as a tourniquet. You take a stick in the knot and you turn it. That can be an effective tourniquet. Just it's always important to have one so that so that the person you're treating does not have to bleed out in the woods and die in the woods. So, tourniquet. So those are the three things. Those are the three considerations that I have. Also, I am an LPN, and I don't think I've ever announced that on this channel. I'm an LPN, so knowledge is one of the best things that you can carry. Getting certified in wilderness CPR. Now, I'm not. My knowledge as a nurse. The only thing it affords me is the fact that I can maybe recognize some symptoms of shock or some extra symptoms that they don't teach in wilderness CPR, and that's it. Other than that, it's a level playing field. Oh, I can name a few bones too. So this is my kit. I keep it in a Molly style pack, and really the only other things that are in here are your standard. I've got some ibuprofen, I've got some aspirin, I've got some gauze, some bandages, some band-aids, and I think I've got my blister treatment pack in here. So that's it. So it's probably heavier than it needs to be, but depending on how far I'm going to be, how far out I'm going to be, or how long I'm going to be, I might add or take away a few things. It also depends on the kind of trip you're going to take. But this should be one of the major considerations that you make when you're packing your pack for a trip. If it's just a quick overnight, you can probably get by with a lot less. But if you're going to be out for a few days, everyone should have a first aid kit in their pack. It should be non-negotiable. It should, weight be damned, you should have one in your pack. And that's very important, because there's nothing worse than having to treat somebody and you don't have the proper equipment. So that's it. Carly, thank you for tagging me on this. And stay tuned after this. I'm going to show you who I tag. And thanks for watching. Get out there and explore. Peace. Okay, so one of the reasons I wanted to wait until I got home to tell you who I'm tagging for this video is because I wanted it to be kind of a pseudo tag and shout out video. So the first person I want to tag for this video is Backpacking Brandon, and you can see his channel right here. I would like to know the 3 most important things you carry in your first aid kit, Brandon. So Backpacking Brandon, if you don't subscribe to him, go ahead and check him out. The second one is Roughing It with Ruth. Excuse me. Now Ruth has done a video where she did a first aid course and the importance of that. I'd like to know what she takes. That being said, I'd like to know what she takes in her first aid kit. And I agree with her that it's important to have the knowledge. Third person or channel I want to tag and / shout out is Sloan's Wilderness Expeditions. If you're not subscribed to them, please go subscribe to them. Also, I would like to know what they do, what this family does with regards to first aid. So there you have it. I will leave links in the description below to all these channels, as well as to Carley's. If you're not subscribed to Carley, Lost Grown Up in the Woods, then subscribe to her, and we'll see you later. Peace.